Welcome to another edition of 5 cards you didn't know are expensive.
Quick, the title card is gone.
We're live.
All right, let's go. Number 1 is Grinding Station. What does Grinding Station do? Well, I'm glad you asked. It's a 2-mana artifact, and you can tap to sacrifice an artifact, and target player puts the top 3 cards of their library into their graveyard, and whenever an artifact comes to play, it untaps.
I mean, I know of the modern deck,
But it's not even that popular.
Yeah, I guess not anymore, but it started out as this combo-centric deck where you play Underworld Breach, which requires you to have 3 cards in the graveyard to recast something from your graveyard, and then you mill the 3 cards, you can then exile to recast a free artifact like Mox Ember, and then you just loop that forever. Also, let me say that, it's an uncommon.
There's no way this is more expensive than Underworld Breach.
I mean, if he included it on the list, I'll go with, what, €6?
How often is it played in EDH Rec? What's its percentage?
Played 1%, so it's not really a command.
I go for €4.
All right, 6 and €4, and it's €11.
11 euros?
Around 11.
For an uncommon?
Yes.
Why?
Well, it's a high sought card for the modern cards that you need a 4 of. And most importantly, it's only been printed once. It was never printed since 5th Dawn.
Also, that set was famous for having people not want to play Magic anymore. So maybe it was open less
Yeah,
often?
it was directly after Mirrodin and Darksteel, which were the dark affinity days of people not playing many. Yeah. Also, it was the 3rd set of a block, which usually had a way less buy rate because a lot of people, it didn't have many cards, so your people weren't really excited. A lot of the cards, also Future Sight, 3rd set, and all of the 3rd sets are less popular.
Under open.
Yeah.
Card number 2 is Terror of the Peaks. Now, that's a card you probably have heard if you've played a bunch of EDH. It's a 5-mana 5/4 flyer in red. It's a dragon, and spells your opponent cast that target it cost an additional 3 life to pay. And whenever another creature enters the battlefield under your control, the Terror of the Peaks deals damage equal to that creature's power anywhere, wherever you want.
I know when that card first was spoiled, a lot of really casual players were super excited, and then it just dwindled down in price because it just wasn't that good in standard. What do you have the price? How much it cost when it was released?
It was €3 back then. In pre-sale, people are kind of competitive, right? And then when it releases.
I remember playing a combo deck in Historic, but I don't think it's the reason why it's expensive in real life. But it does work. What you played was Dragonstorm, so you had a storm count of 4, and you put Terror of the Peaks and other dragons.
It has combo-y vibes. Now, my final piece of information before you get to guess the price is that 6% of EDH decks that can run this card do run this card.
That feels like a lot. I feel like also casual environments really push prices of cards. And in a casual world, the card Dragonstorm seems really cool and is not that expensive. So putting together your cool dragon combo deck in a kitchen table, no real format world. Also, it's a big dragon. I don't know. I'll go for
It works really well multiples, right? It's not a legendary.
€12.
It's not. I say €12 and 1 cent. I'll go for 17.
So the 30-day price average is €30.91. It's for a card that doesn't see let's say it doesn't see competitive play, and what especially strikes me about this card is that it was printed so recently. Magic M21 was what, 2 years ago, 3 years ago, something like
It's
that?
2020, which doesn't feel like it, but was 3 years ago.
Yeah.
I assume maybe it's pandemic stuff?
Maybe not a lot of people opened it because it was a pandemic. Because what do you do with paper cards No, you couldn't even buy a lot of paper cards.
And I guess there were no drafts happening at all. Also, it's a core set, so probably all that led to low supply. And then we didn't have a reprint set.
Card number 3, it's Thornbite Staff. Ooh.
I have no idea what that card does.
I've never heard those words in combination before.
Very good. Then we're in for a
Have you
treat.
heard the word Thornbite before?
Thorn, bite, and staff in the same sentence?
Okay.
Never. Not once.
Well, how much is Thornbite Staff? That's in a sentence. It is.
Okay, once.
It's a 2-mana artifact. Actually, I lied. It's a tribal artifact. It's a shaman equipment.
So this does count as a shaman.
It counts as a shaman, and it counts as a tribal thing for those things. But it's an equipment, and it says equipped creature has 2 tap. This creature deals 1 damage to target creature or player, and whenever a creature is put into a graveyard from play, untap this creature, and whenever Shaman comes into play, you may attach Stormbite Staff to it for free.
So this has to be played for the sharpshooter effect where, oh, it untaps on death, right?
Do you think this is played in a Shaman deck or just a deck that cares about the tapping and killing creatures?
No, I don't think the tap, because the tap requires mana.
Yeah.
So it's only about the untap.
Oh, is there an infinite combo with this?
I'm glad you asked. So there are two ways of using it. You either just make a lot of tokens, just generally. You play it with Krenko, for example. But if you equip something that makes those tokens, and you kill one of those tokens, then you can make the tokens again. So for example, there's Krenko and a Skirk Prospector, which sacrifices a goblin for mana. Then you make those goblins by tapping Krenko, sacrifice the goblin for making a mana, you untap Krenko, and then you just...
I don't think this card would be on this list without an infinite combo.
Yeah, and I know Krenko is expensive. Wait, €4.48 as a 30-day price average on Cardmarket, but it was printed many times. Dolph, how often was this card printed?
Funnily enough, you might guess a theme around here. It's been printed only once.
Ah.
And it's been printed in a set that was not the first set of a block.
And a pretty unpopular set as well. Not a lot of packs open to blow.
Correct.
So it's an uncommon. Let me put all of this together. Uncommon, printed only once. I can smell a grinding station happening. I'll call €12. This is a grinding station 2.0. It's just a casual grinding station. Because this, no competitive play, but probably a bunch of casual play.
But I feel like it's hard to get to. Like, not a lot of casual commander players will be looking at Krenko and being like, you know what goes great with Krenko? So I'll go 6.
Yeah. It's around 750,
Oh.
which I can be 1 point for Carl.
Yeah.
We introduced
We're not calculating points, but I'm still happy.
which can be explained by you don't need a 4-off. Like grinding station is a natural 4-off in all the competitive formats, and it's kind of restricted. It's been played in like Commander, but that's about it. But on the other side, grinding station, you find it, you look at like, oh, grinding station, that's been played. Maybe it's
Yeah.
worth something. Stormbite Staff, people go, haven't even seen that card in a while.
So if you're one of the 7 people with Lorwyn bulk, you might want to go through it and find a few of these.
Actually, a tiny little side note, Lorwyn set specifically, like those blocks, are insane for bulk.
Because they can't reprint them because they have tribal written on them.
Yep.
Card number 4, we're doing something special this time. It's a token.
Oh, not again.
Not again. And speaking of cards that are only printed in one set, this is the Slug Token from Crimson Vow. It's a 1/1 black slug. That's all I have to read. It's easy.
It doesn't have any abilities.
No, it does not.
Oh,
There's zero.
It's just a slug. What do you need more? Just for context, one of the famously expensive, surprisingly expensive tokens is the Fable of the Mirror Breaker token, which is about €5 to €6.
But that's because it's played everywhere. I have never seen a slug.
Well, you're not in the right circles, Yaman.
I mean, also the card that does make it doesn't seem too exciting to me. So I don't even know. Like, it's like a 7-mana slug. It has a cool effect.
7-mana slug doesn't sound exciting to you?
What card creates the slug? I feel like I'm out of the loop here.
It's created by a card called Toxrill the Corrosive. It costs 7 mana, and at the beginning of each end step, put a slime counter on each creature you don't control. Creatures you don't control get -1/-1 for each slime counter on them. Whenever a creature you don't control with a slime counter on it dies, create a 1/1 black slug creature token. And if you pay Dimir, a blue and a black, and sacrifice a slug, you draw a card. So there's a lot of cool text on it, but it's very slow.
Like a slug.
Like a slug. Flavor win. I'll go with €3.
For the token.
I honestly, at that point, I
For
don't
the
know.
token.
Yeah.
I guess you need a lot of those.
For context, the slug thing is played in 4% of commander decks on EDH Rec that it can be played in. You just throw this 7-mana slug that kind of reads win the game.
4% of
4%.
all Dimir decks.
Yep.
This is a card actually now that I have to look up because I don't even know if I take the token out of the booster pack and keep it. Like, it's like, a token. And it's
At what threshold do you keep the token?
€1 at least.
€1? How much do you think this is?
2?
I went with 3.
It's 406, 30-day price average. Now, would you like to guess how much the actual card Toxrill is?
No, it makes me depressed.
Yeah.
It's a mythic. And for context, Crimson Vow is a set that is not known for being very expensive.
There's another theme to this episode because all the sets we are discussing are
Not very
open
popular.
very little.
Yeah.
Like,
So Taral, you, me, Toxrill, a price.
€5.
€4.
30-day price average for Toxrill the Corrosive is $15.84. I'm pretty sure I've opened tons of Crimson Vow packs and just seen this and tossed it away.
But Don't we have? We do have Crimson Vow
Because we didn't
packs.
want to draft it. We have a bunch of packs.
There's packs back there. Yep, the box is still here.
Yes!
It's a bit worn down.
I love the Cardmarket Wonderland.
Do you want to each try opening a Toxrill?
Of course.
Absolutely. Do you want to trade boosters?
Yes.
Oh, somebody wants to play. This is real life Cardmarket production. Oh, you open a mythic.
A Faithbound Judge.
I have a black rare.
I
which
feel
is
like
not toxic.
every time we open packs together,
Are you going to say Pauper Staple?
I'm gonna say the words Carl. Every time we open packs together, I claim something is a Pauper staple, but
It is
Voldaren
Pauper
Epicure is a Pauper staple. Sigarda's Summons.
Let's just try a quick round 2.
Okay, one more.
No, I don't believe you. I've been burnt before. Did you have a Slug Token?
I didn't realize it. I just looked at it.
I didn't check my token.
You didn't check.
It's just a boring spirit.
There's a high chance that this booster would have just gone at the end of like the shelf again, but I have a Slug Token. Last but not least, we have Meltdown, which costs 1 red and X. It's a sorcery and it says destroy each artifact with total casting cost of X or less.
When was that printed?
Ursa Saga.
Do we have any Urza Saga packs? But why? What rarity is that? Is this like Pauper demand?
Uncommon. No.
No, you can't
It's
play
an
this in
uncommon.
Pauper. And it was printed only once, I assume.
Ah, yes, there we go. It was printed only once.
This is a long time ago.
But who's
Urza
playing this?
Saga.
Is it just Commander?
I can tell you it has a 0%, like literal 0% EDH.
It has to have a really low number, like in the hundreds or early thousands.
But if all 3 of my opponents play Soul Ring and I play this,
No, that would be 6. I assume, as the legacy expert I am, that it's mainly used for Chalice of the Void because you can scale the mana cost of
Yeah.
escape. Like Chalice forbids a certain amount of mana, so if it's on 1, you can actually pay 2.
Yeah,
and then it
that makes
destroys
sense.
Chalice.
So you can pay whatever you want. It's like build your own Chalice removal.
Yes, exactly.
okay, this is an old card. It wouldn't have made the list at 2-3 euros, so I'll go with 5 euro.
So if you told me this was 10 euro, I'd be like, so I'm gonna say it's 7.
It's 12 euro and 50 cents. You can buy some decent meal with 1 Meltdown.
I'm having a meltdown about this price right now. But still, who pays 12 euro for some mediocre artifact removal?
Well, have you ever played against Chalice and not cast your 1-drops?
I play Boseiju
Okay.
in the face of Chalice of the Void.
Well, that concludes it. 5 cards you didn't know are expensive for this time. And if you like the episode, if you like us, if you want to spread some love, click the subscribe button, write a comment, write some cards maybe that you think are expensive but others should know about. And obviously, if you want to support the channel, please watch our other videos. They're all great. They
Oh, yeah.
include us.
2 more videos are coming in